What's up, everybody? Brad Modrich here, founder of Conflict. I am joined today by my good friend, George Koufali. This is episode 2 of Conquer Your Conflict podcast. Super excited today. What's up, brother? How are you?
Good morning, brother.
Yeah, so first off, for those of you that are just joining us and just following us, this is going to be something that we're going to be doing on a bi-weekly basis to give you guys some content to get your life back on track. I figure everybody has some kind of a problem or a challenge in their life. This is going to be designed to help you conquer your conflicts, not tap out, keep fighting, and to really just get your life back on track, stop making excuses. And today I'm joined with my partner, GK, also my co-author on the Takeover. Love it. If you haven't checked this out, check us out. We're on Amazon. You can go to conqueryourconflicts.com. What's your website?
ChaseYourVisions.com.
ChaseYourVisions.com. So super excited about what we're trying to do here. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on as one of the first guests, those of you that don't know George, I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his background. Just a quick paint a picture. We are in a network marketing business together. We co-authored the book together, The Takeover. And when I think about work ethic and not making excuses, this is no bullshit, bro. You come to the top, like you're at the top, and it takes a certain person to be able to operate at that level. And I told you, I mean, you've heard me say this many times before, to be able to operate at that level where you're not making any excuses, regardless of what's coming at you, whether it's a tragedy, whether it's a financial disappointment, whatever it is, relationships, and you got a million miles of things coming at you, a million miles an hour, you set the bar for not making excuses. And I just want to kind of touch base on this because there's so many people out there, they're going day to day, living their life, and it's really a life of mediocrity. And for me, you know, the whole purpose of this podcast, the whole purpose on why we did the book was to help people create those habits and those rituals and those things to get their life back on track. Because let's face it, nobody wants to live a mediocre life. Nobody wakes up and say, I want to be, plain Jane today. But you have to fix your operating system. And your operating system, the way you operate, man, I always commend you. I always praise you publicly for this. And I mean, you know this isn't blowing smoke up your ass. There's something in your head, and I wish everyone could kind of just take a peek at what that is. But I want you to shed a little light. First tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Give them the 3-minute elevator pitch on you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. It's nice to have somebody who's putting out positive content in a world where there's a lot of negativity, especially, since they launched social media. I think social media is a great platform, but it also gives the negative people like a microphone, basically, or, to amplify negativity. So it's awesome when there's positive stuff going on. That's why I'm glad to be a part of this today. So me, a little bit of my background is basically moved to Greece when I was a kid. My grandmother raised me for a few years, and then I came back to America to start kindergarten. Couldn't speak English. Greek was my first language. I remember coming and trying to play with the kids in the neighborhood, and I just couldn't understand a word they were saying, and it was very frustrating for me. But here's the thing, at a very early age, I realized that I had to focus on the solution. And the problem was I didn't understand the language. The solution was I was still going to find a way to play with these kids. And eventually, obviously, I learned the language. And throughout my life, the sacrifices that I saw my grandmother make, my grandmother raised me for a couple years in her 50s when my parents were in their teens. And I remember thinking to myself as I grew up, wow, this lady didn't blink an eyelash, to say, I'm going to take care of this kid. And she raised me. And I always felt in the back of my mind that I had to do something special in this life, because if it wasn't for her, I don't know where my life would have been. Like, my parents couldn't raise me when I was a kid. And to this day, I mean, I have a picture of her on my phone. I have a picture of her on my wall. So the first thing is I have a reason. I have a why that I don't make excuses. I have to leave a legacy. I cannot allow her life to be in vain, and that drives me so deep. I mean, I'll walk through fire for this lady who's not even alive anymore because of how much love I have for her, for what she did for me as a kid. I can't forget that. Secondly, there's always in my mind an end result that I need to achieve, and there's a mission, and I just can't deviate away from that until that mission is complete. I feel like, you were in the military. I wasn't in the military, but I could imagine if I was on a mission to rescue my team or to do some, amazing mission, that I would not stop. I would be dead before I stop. And I tell people all the time, you're either going to find me at the finish line, or you're going to find me dead on the side of the road one day trying to get to the finish line, but there's no stop. And there's a lot on my plate. I have multiple businesses. We have the network marketing business. We have the book. I also have 2 real estate investing firms, which I'm actually downsizing at the moment. I'm actually selling 10 units. A couple of reasons. One, the market's high, but the other reason is I also have to know like when to exit some things. And sometimes maybe there's too much on my plate at that moment. Maybe I need to regroup and reestablish and maybe put time into something else. I also have Evolve Apparel. Just started Power Up Nutrition, which is a nutrition company I've launched with my partner, John. So there's a lot of things going on in my life, and I have no excuses. And every day is a challenge. Before I walked in here, there was a challenge. I got an email saying this new property that I bought that supposedly had a clear CO had an issue with the deck. After I fixed it, they still came back with more issues, and that's life. And I'm realizing that I can't run my life on the emotions. Like there's like a 1 minute window with me where I get emotional. I open up the email, I look at the problem and the situation, and my emotions overwhelm me. And then I realize, okay, what's the mission? What's the end result? What's the solution? What are you trying to achieve? We're emotional creatures, and unfortunately, emotions are going to run our life. And there has to be that switch in your mind where you realize, like, what's the logical aspect of what I'm dealing with? Okay, I got like an email yesterday from somebody, and I couldn't even read it because I realized at that moment I was so overwhelmed with everything else in my life. I couldn't even understand the email. And I remember thinking, okay, let me relax, let me eat, let me go back to. So you have to teach yourself. You have to have self-awareness of when to handle what, how to handle it, and just not make excuses. Unfortunately, from a kid, I can remember people making excuses. There's always been an excuse. From our parents, from schools. I mean, being a landlord, I hear crazy excuses. Being in network marketing, I hear crazy excuses. Like, I feel like excuses have become a DNA of most of the society because it's so easy to make an excuse. I made an excuse on the way here that I was late because I was stuck in traffic. Now, I left early, but I should have left earlier. The bottom line is I should have left earlier. I should have got here earlier. So I realize that, it's my own fault. But most people are going to make excuses for stuff like that. And it's not easy, but it took, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't always perfect. I go through phases in life where I was doing well, then I'd fall back to making excuses, fall back. But then once I found my stride, once I started reading 10 pages of a book, once I started getting around successful people, once I started forcing myself to do these types of things that normally I wouldn't do on a Wednesday, right? Right now it's Wednesday. For everybody else, it's hump day. Hump day for what? I'm trying to smash goals, and me and you are trying to make legacies happen. So that's what it's all about, guys. And I'm just glad to be here.
But notice what you did right there, just on the traffic part. The first thing that you did, and I think this is where most people drop the ball, is you turned it inward. You said, I should have left earlier. It was your fault you were late. And that right there, the accountability about the excuses, I think that's one of the most important parts for people to be self-aware. And we talk about this in the book. Like, you got to be able to internalize this and say, you know what, I should have done more. And this can happen in any facet of your life, the relationships with your spouse, significant other, it could be with your finances. Like right now, I took a look at my credit, and, this is a big thing. You have the credit repair business too.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Right? Another one. But it comes down to accountability. And most importantly, you said another part is coming up with a solution on what you can do. And I think there's a lot of people out there right now that they don't look in the mirror and they don't say, you know what, I got to get my shit together. And most importantly, it is extremely, extremely important for people out there listening to this. That's the first step. Understanding that you're making an excuse.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Monday I went to, I got a letter from the city saying that one of my water bills was extremely high. So I called the city, asked them, what exactly is this letter for? I've never seen a letter saying my water bill is extremely high, because the water bill, there's usually like $190 in the building. They said, are you sitting down? I said, yeah, I'm sitting down. Why? They go, your water bill is $1,700. So I couldn't get a hold of any of the tenants. I had to go over there. I had to open up the door. When I opened up the door, first of all, it was a running toilet for 110 days that cost me $1,700. But when I opened the door, now this is a building that burnt down a year ago. I spent $140K, remodel it. I walked in and it was a complete disaster. I mean, it was such a disaster that my heart sunk into my feet, right? And the initial response is, oh, well, it's the tenant who's not taking care of it, and the tenant should have known better with the toilet. But the reality is, maybe I should have a better system. Maybe I should have a system where people go and check up on people every 60, 90 days, you know? So these are the types of things that after they happen, and I try to blame, oh, well, I mean, it's a tenant's fault. I look at myself always and go, okay, well, what can I do better next time? You know, and what is really happening here? And that's where I think people have to take a good look in the mirror. And we don't do that. It's hard to tell yourself that you suck.
It is. It is. And the reason that I wanted to do this today was a big part for our team, because right now, a lot of people, especially in our immediate circle, I keep hearing excuses.
Oh, it's crazy. Summertime.
It's summertime. It's this. I can't do this. No leads. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And for us being performance-based individuals, for me, I get frustrated. Like, I get so mad when I hear an excuse. Like, why didn't you get it done?
But you and I are not, like, I mean, we're not like, so like I signed up a new business partner this month, right? One in July. I didn't have any in June. I got like 3 customers. I'm not killing the summer, but yet why is it that I always show up though? Pretty much 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I'm at the meetings. I'm having the same slow period everybody else, but everybody else, when it gets slow, they just want to deviate and go back to the beach and go to the pool, where I'm doing both. I'm going to the pool, I'm going to the beach, and I'm still running my business. See, I just had this conversation with Jacob. I've created a life where I don't have, well, it's summertime, it's Christmas time. I just have a good life. And I do what I'm supposed to do every single month. That's the system. It doesn't matter if it's 4th of July, it doesn't matter if it's Christmas. I'm going to put in the effort. Now, not every month is going to pay me back in life, because if that was the case, life would be just, too good to be true. But it's because I don't deviate on those slow months that I'm always ahead of the game. Everybody else is always trying to catch back up because they take that break. I don't know, man. People just don't want it bad enough, Brad. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a small percentage of people that just want it, and some only want it on days that they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. The next day, they don't want it again. It's something they got to dig in deep. You and I are trying to do the best we can by writing books and doing these podcasts, but at the end of the day, like, something has to click for these people. And it might click tomorrow. It might click next year. It might never click.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know just from our conversation that we had when I was doing the California St. Louis trips, where I had to, before when I was an employee, last year, if I was going on a trip, I shut everything off. I was on the trip. Like, this was the first year where I remember waking up and I remember going into my power center, looking at this. So look, like, you can't shut that off as an entrepreneur.
And your wife's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And that's important. And my significant other is an entrepreneur. And fortunately, we have people in our lives that understand. And I think that's important too. I know people that have relationships where the other person doesn't understand, and that's tough. And I think at some point in life, you have to decide like what direction your life is going in, and make sure that you're picking a partner who's in that same direction too. I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we pick our partners based on, oh, that person's cute or this person's this, but the reality is, like, you have to be on the same page. And I think, honestly, and you could probably attest to this, I see my girl now more than if I would have seen her if I had a 9 to 5.
Without a doubt.
I just saw her night before I left. That would never happen. I would have been at work by 8 a.m. I would never been able to like see her before I came here. There's times where at lunch she still hasn't left for work yet because she has a late day. I'm still at the house. Like, weekends, I see her every weekend because I don't have to go to the spa anymore and open up my mom's salon or cut lawns on the weekends. So people were like, oh, he's so busy. He's too busy. I'm thinking to myself, keep saying that because you're at a job 40, 60 hours a week. I'm not. I can go right now to my girl's salon down the street and say hi to her.
Right.
So people don't understand that entrepreneurship is not to take time away. It's to get the time back.
Right. They don't get it.
No, they don't get it.
I can't tell you, since December of last year, my life has changed exponentially. Like, I wake up every morning with such a level of gratitude. I thank my family. I think that everyone's healthy. But then I go into the network marketing business is what gave me the ability to walk away. And that, let's just, let's call it, it is what it is. That wouldn't happen if it wasn't for you.
Some people love network marketing and some people don't understand it and some people hate it, and that's the same thing with anything else. Real estate, my banker and one of my good friends told me not to get involved in it. Now, they're still doing the same thing they were doing 8 years ago, and I've made millions of dollars. So at the end of the day, to me, network marketing has been an amazing opportunity. It's taught us so many skills, and it's given us the network. And we're here because of it.
The network.
And that's the reality of it. And it's given us freedom. And both of us, you probably would agree with me, we're both mentally unemployable.
I'll never work for anybody.
I can't do it.
Ever.
I can't do it.
Ever again. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I will figure out a way to make some money.
Yep.
So listen, to those people out there, you're going through your life, you're going through your day-to-day operations. You're not happy with your current financial situation, your marital situation, your work situation, your career. the reality of it is the whole purpose of this is a gut check. Quit making excuses. Take accountability for your actions, take accountability for your life. And I promise you, and even if you don't know how, and I think this is one of the biggest parts for me, I mean, I remember when I sent you the text about, hey, I need help, and that was multiple times over the years. Suck up the ego, ask for help. Don't ask for help, and this is an important part. Don't ask for help on people that are below you, and not when I say below you, on a different level lower than you. You got to be looking for people that are leveled up.
Yep.
Like I have my Arate group that I'm in, and that's been an amazing network because these are all like 7-figure earners where if I have questions, that platform, like I sucked my ego. I swallowed the ego, and all I do is ask for help.
Yep.
If I don't know something, I have this amazing crew that I can go to, and I'll ask for help. What's your message to people out there making excuses?
My message is you're not going to stop it overnight, and that's not what we're asking you to do. What we're asking you to do is be self-aware. Next time you make an excuse, ask yourself, like, is that an excuse, and what could I have done different? You know, I'm going to tell you a thing. The hardest challenge in a human being's life is the conquering of one's own self. I still think about that quote for years and years and years, and I'll give you an example. We'll let it go like this. There was a night where I was supposed to go to this event. It was a Robert Kiyosaki event. I woke up. It was March. It was snowing in March. It was cold out. My girl came home unexpectedly early, which was unusual, and I was able to spend time with her. I had woken up from a nap on the wrong side of the bed. I mean, there was every excuse possible, and I was like, I'm not going to this stupid thing. I'm not going to meet anybody there. I started telling myself all these things, and then I remembered, because I had just recently learned that quote, the hardest challenge of a human being's life is the conquering of one's own self. And I thought, man, this is what Aristotle was talking about. This is that voice. Let me just take this voice and kick it off me and just go. Even though I don't want to go because I have all these things going on, let me just see what happens. I ended up going to the event. Not to mention I went back 3 or 4 times because I enjoyed it, but I ended up sponsoring somebody in my network marketing business. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened. It happened with the clothing event once. We went to an event where we didn't want to go. It was Sunday morning. We didn't think anybody was going to buy clothes. We ended up selling $600 worth of leggings within an hour, and I got one business partner in my network marketing business who now is over 45 in Philadelphia. So I've now learned to do that, but it takes steps. You have to become self-aware, and next time you're making excuses, ask yourself, are you making an excuse? And what can you do differently? And what can you do different next time? And what is it going to take for you to change that so you can get on with your life? Once you cut out the excuses and the bullshit, your life starts to open up in a different direction. And energy flows where attention goes. Your life goes in a dominant direction of your thoughts. If you have excuses, your life's going to go. Like today, I didn't really have time to do this podcast, but Brad's an important person to me, and this is an important cause to me, and I love doing these types of things because this is fun. But I had to get my mind and go, okay, wait a minute. You know what? The things you're doing in life right now, that you're dealing with all these things right now. I'm selling 10 houses. I'm dealing with inspectors. That's not as fulfilling. That's not gonna help you 10 years down the road. This is what's gonna help you 10 years down the road. This positivity, maybe changing somebody's life, and you need to then. So we get caught up in all that drama that sometimes we forget what it's like to be in a positive environment. I'm so happy to be here because this just completely railroaded my whole entire day in a different direction. Like I came in here like in a bad mood and stressed out, and now I'm like, I got so much to look forward to. There's so much opportunity out there. I got a guy right here with a video camera. I got my boy here who looks like a tattoo supermodel. I got a guy across from me who's on TV like every day. This guy here across from me is killing his dreams. He's on the news. Right. I mean, I'm in like an environment around winners, man. Like I'm ready to run out of here and go do burnouts with my Porsche.
And all because you showed up.
That's all because I showed up. And I would never have been able to feel this type of energy and excitement before I got here. I wouldn't know what it was like. My mind was like, it's just an interview. You got to show up.
Got to show up.
It changes the whole game, and that's like 80% of it is just showing up. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited, man. We're going to crush this thing. It's 2019 right now.
What's the year? 2023?
2023. I don't even smoke cigars, and I've never even been to Dubai. But I don't even think Dubai even has a boat. I think it's all sand. But I'm gonna be on a boat somewhere in Dubai. Maybe it'd be stationary, but smoking a cigar. I'm telling you right now.
I'll be there with you. This was awesome. Great stuff. So, where can people find you? Where can they find you? Your social media, your website. Give them all of your content.
Instagram, you can find me on the _GK Project. On Facebook, I am George K. Power. www.chaseyourvisions.com if you want to go on my personal website. And pretty much I also have a network marketing business. I have a website for that. It's gk.mystream.com. If you want to reach me there, my information's on that too. And that's pretty much anywhere of those avenues you can get a hold of me. And you can go on Amazon. You can buy our book on Amazon. You can also get our our audio book on Amazon. You get our audio book on iTunes. You can get our audio book on audible.com. It's called The Takeover, the Ultimate Mind Booster. Brad and I are actually right now 8 chapters into The Takeover 2, which will be another book about 18 to 20 chapters. Our goal is to have that launched in early 2020 to continue to give you guys more of what you need to get your life in the direction that you want it to. And today is a good question to ask yourself. What are you doing today to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be? It shouldn't just be a hump day. Don't get caught up in everybody else in society saying it's hump day. No, for you, it's not. Be that 1% who shows up and goes up. I'll see you guys hopefully around.
Love it, brother. Listen, those of you following us, check us out at Conflict or at Brad Modrich. That's BradModrich. Websites, www.conqueryourconflicts.com, or you could just go to www.bradmodrich.com. And listen, you got to kill the inner bitch voice. That's what I call it. You got to kill it. You got to stomp it. You got to put it to rest. But that can only happen unless you hold yourself accountable and you are aware that you're making excuses. Stop making excuses. Take action and hold yourself accountable for your life. That's all I got today. Thank you, everyone following us. Thank you for everyone who has supported us. And this is going to be the first of many. That's all I got. One love. Peace.
I always want to say this. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Take care. Check us out next week or in 2 weeks. See ya.